when you pull out your phone and you start scrolling and you're scrolling and you're scrolling and you're scrolling, what are you looking for? There is an emotional reason, and in most cases, it's connection. You're looking to connect with some sense of being important or being exciting. Welcome back to Love, Life, and Legacy, the podcast dedicated to helping you. Yes, you. Excuse me, you. I forget the rest of the saying. What do I say? Navigate these hypersexualized times. There we go. Ooh, I got lost there. My name is Andrew Love, and as always, I'm committed to helping you figure out who you are and what you want so that you can create a life that resembles your ideals, so that you can be your Chanuguk self, your pure water self, and your high noon self. They're all one and the same, synonymous. So today's episode is very practical, and it's one that you will need to stop and actually do some work during this episode. I'm sorry, but not sorry. Yeah? Because it will require that you don't just listen, but that you actually participate in order to get the full value of what I'm saying here. It's about learning the details of your escapism so that you can interrupt your escapism and get back to a life where you're fully engaged and when you're fully alive and when you're just crushing it, okay? But that requires a great level of attendance to the mission at hand, to the person that you're committed to being. And I have some assignments for you. So let's do that. This is figuring out your escapism cocktail, the hows of why you do this, the details of why you escape, then also what do you want to do instead and how to do that. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hey everybody. Andrew Love here, and today I wanted to unpack some stuff for you. I just am freshly back in Mongolia from the Philippines. Nothing about my life makes sense to anybody, and that's fine. Makes sense to me. I mean, I don't get it, but it makes sense. We just had an amazing event in the Philippines. There was, I don't know if you saw any of the footage. If you are on Instagram, check out our account. Or I think we put a video on YouTube too. So if you're watching this on YouTube, just go to a few last videos, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun and a really lively crowd. And we had a bunch of new content. We just tried out a bunch. They were our guinea pigs with a bunch of new content that we created specifically for this 10-year anniversary tour. And it was good. I could see I took a lot of notes. And we will be changing this and adapting this content as we go on in this tour, but it was already good. It's just going to get better and better and better. So today though, I noticed when I was giving the talks that there's a bunch of stuff about escapism that I did not bring up in my conversation with Benji when I was talking about escapism. And I am desperate for people to understand this. So I have some things. This episode, okay, is sponsored by the pause button that you have on your phone or your computer, whatever you have. That little thing that allows you to press pause and take notes, that's the sponsor of this video, because I need you to press it a bunch. If you're listening to this while you work out, because I did hear that in the Philippines, a couple of people are like, I listen to you at the gym. And I cannot imagine lifting heavy weights and also listening to Benji and I talk about sex. But whatever, to each their own. But if you're in the gym, then just re-listen to this on double speed after and take notes. Because what we're going to do here is we're going to unlock your escapism cocktail. It's really, really important. It's the most really basic work, and when I ask you these questions, they'll be very thought-provoking, but they're like right in front of you. There's no reason why you shouldn't know this other than the fact that we're just really unconscious with a lot of our time and energy. We don't think about the things that we do. We just do them. And so I want to help you unravel this yarn that is your life and understand how and why you escape, so that you can interrupt these patterns quite easily, actually, when you become aware of it. So I don't know if we still high noon talks and our content, even our programs, have been through many iterations. But in the past, we used to really talk about like the process when you join high noon is that you're really unconscious about most of the things that you do. You know that you feel crappy when you watch porn, but you have no idea when or why you end up watching porn. And so the first step is like you're just completely unconscious, just unaware, just somehow your phone ends up in your hand and you just end up doing stupid stuff, okay? But then you graduate to a place where you become slowly more conscious and you're like, I have my phone in my hand. I am scrolling right now, right? And it doesn't mean that you will always make the right decisions after that, but you will at least know that you are making bad decisions. In the beginning, you didn't even know. You're making bad decisions unconsciously. Now you're consciously making good and bad decisions, but time slows down and you're like, I can see I'm making a grave mistake, right? And then you progress from that place to you can see what's about to happen before it happens and you can prevent it from happening. Like you can see your hand reaching out for your phone and like, oh, no, I actually don't want to look at my phone right now. Thank you very much. Phone, please go away. Phone, right? I'm going to go take a walk or whatever because you get the game. And so this will help with that. Okay, this little exercise that we're about to do will help with that. Let me just find my page here. So the first question I have for you is, when do you escape? I want you to think about this question. When is it throughout your day that you find yourself escaping? There will be patterns in your life that you can notice. There, some people would say, oh, I just randomly throughout the day escape. But okay, great. Let's start with the main times that you mostly escape from. If you have a commute, do you find yourself just mindlessly scrolling social media? Do you do this? A lot of people have a bad habit of it's right before bed. It's like when they should be doing something to help tomorrow be a better day by meditating, by stretching, by, I don't know, cleaning yourself, just really like washing the day from your mind or your heart, your spirit. Instead, they're scrolling in bed. Worst way to go to sleep, by the way, because you're just ingesting all this poison right before you slumber. So obviously it impacts your unconscious state, your sleep state, but then it also impacts the quality of your sleep and tomorrow. So your bad decisions today often bleed into tomorrow. So do you do that, right? A lot of people, maybe as soon as they get up, they're like, oh, I just need to check my phone to see what time it is and Instagram for an hour. And they're scrolling in bed for an hour. So first question is, when do you escape? Think about that. If you can, pause it here and think about today. You can think about today or yesterday as an example. And then if you can, there's more of a meta pattern of like, okay, most days I escape at this time of day. Could be in the morning a lot. Could be if you're at school, maybe in class a lot. Could be in transit, like I said. Could be at lunch, right? So when? The first question is when. The second question is where. Where is it that you find yourself escaping life? Is it, I think a lot of people bring their phones to the bathroom because they can't even just sit by themselves for a few minutes, right? Is it, so you can think about rooms. You can think about in your car while you're driving. That's not good. Could be in your bed. Like I said, if it's a bedtime thing, evening or morning, it could be that's the location, is your bed, is a bad time, bad spot. Think about that. Where is it that you are when you escape? Again, this is like what you're doing is you're stopping, you're pressing pause on your life and you're assessing it. You're doing an inventory to figure out what's working, what's not working. And in this case, it's specifically looking at when do you escape? Where do you escape? Okay. And the next one is how? How is it that you escape? So most people, I would say it's their phone. They escape through their phone. But if that's you, then which apps do you escape from? Look at these apps. You can even ask your phone. This is a tool that few people use. Every week we get a report card from our phone and it says, this is how much you've been escaping life by hour, by app, right? So it says how many minutes you've been on Facebook, Instagram, ideally, I don't know, banking apps or notes app, productive things, but also all the other times. So if you want to know more information about yourself, that's probably the best use case is look at your phone, look at the report. It'll tell you which apps you've been escaping through, what times consistently. It'll tell you the data, the trends of your own iniquities, right? You don't have, this doesn't have to be an abstract exercise. You have data on yourself. You can spy on yourself, okay? So, but if you escape through Netflix, okay, that's another how do you escape. And if you have other issues like food, right? The example that I used this past weekend was I admitted to a cheese addiction that I think I'm a recovering cheese addict. I think I'm out of the weeds, but there's definitely a time in my life. I was living in LA. Things were not going well. It's when I first got there. I left and then I came back and things went way better. But the first time I went there, it was like things went sideways and I was unemployed. I was like, I couldn't work because I was an illegal alien. I was just visiting. And so I just had all this time on my hands. I ended up walking around my house a lot and I'd always end up in front of the fridge and I'd end up with a piece of cheese in my hand that would end up in my mouth, that would end up in my belly. And I gained 20 pounds just around my belly of cheese fat. I was escaping through like pretty cheap cheddar cheese. It was not a good thing. So do you do that? Do you find yourself late at night just binging on ice cream or something like that? So think about your how. Sorry about that, Scooter. So we have when, where, and how. And the last section that I want you to check out is why. This is a more nuanced decision, but think about if you regularly, let's say, scroll before bed. Think about what it is that you're feeling when you do that. Because you know you're not supposed to do that. Nobody's like, oh, I've got an idea. Hold on. Here, I got a great idea. Before bed, check it out. It's going to be really good for me. Don't worry. I'm going to scroll my phone for an hour and a half. Just random garbage that's not going to make me smarter or happy or anything. I'm just going to waste an hour and a half scrolling on my phone and making myself kind of feel more isolated and more disempowered than ever before. How's that for an idea, right? Nobody does it on purpose. So then why do you think you're doing it? When you should be asleep because you're in bed at night and you're not, why? Is it because, and I would say this is the case for many people, you don't have a good way to unwind? Because unwinding is really important, especially after a stressful day, to like get that stress out of you. That's what meditation's for, or doing some sort of prayer, or stretching is super healthy for you right before bed. If you have some type of routine like shower, stretching, affirmations, you're beautiful, you're talented, you're super cool. Whatever. If you have those kind of practices, doing that is obviously more conscious and it's a part of a plan, whereas scrolling is a part of unconsciously just wasting your potential, right? So why is it that you scroll? And if it's another time, let's say when you wake up or some other time during the day, what is the reason for your scrolling? The example that I use often is like when you come out into an elevator, when you're going in an elevator and you see there's a bunch of strangers there and you don't know what to do, a lot of people pull out their phone and start scrolling. Why? Right? So the big question is, I love this question so much because very few people have a good answer until they get to know themselves.
Oh yes, Benji here, guys. If you've benefited from this episode and you love the podcast, then please consider becoming a donor for High Noon. It is a special privilege to be a donor. If you want to donate just $10 a month or $20 a month or $100 a month, if you want some way to contribute to something really, really impactful, and you have some cash to do that, then please let High Noon be that for you. We welcome you. We are still a nonprofit, and we use all the funds to help support our programs, to change the lives of lots of people and travel the world and do epic stuff like that. So please go to highnoon.org/donate, and please help us out. All right, see ya.
When you pull out your phone and you start scrolling, and you're scrolling, and you're scrolling, and you're scrolling, what are you looking for? Because the act of scrolling is clearly you're actively digging to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. But what are you looking for? What are you trying to get out of this exchange? That's the thing. Most people would say, I don't know, I'm just scrolling. No, but why? What are you looking for? There is an emotional reason. And in most cases, it's connection. You're looking to connect with some sense of being important or being exciting or feeling beautiful or powerful or something like that. You're looking for this in small doses, and that's why you're scrolling. People would say entertainment, but why do you want to be entertained? Why are you not entertained by yourself, right? So what are you looking for? This is the why question. Why? So we went through first, I'm going to recap. When do you escape? Kind of what time of day? Where do you escape? In your house? How do you escape? Like which? Through an app on your phone, through YouTube on your computer, through cheddar cheese in your fridge. And then why? Is it boredom? Is it you don't know how to chill out, and so this helps you to unwind, but it's obviously not the best way? So those are the kind of the questions to reflect on, okay? Now how to interrupt these patterns. This is the second part. The first part is like learning about the negative so you can see it more clearly. The second thing is, okay, what do you do now? Well, I think the best way to go about this is to reverse engineer. You interrupt it at the why, okay? So that when you, let's say it's sadness. I think a lot of people, when they go to bed, they feel sad or they feel unfulfilled. They feel weird because they haven't processed their emotions. This is a very important life skill, is to end your day by processing the things in your body through stretching, by processing the things in your heart through prayer, meditation, by just like letting the day not stick to you, but you process it. Just like food, you eat it, you take the nutrients, you poop out the rest. We're supposed to do that with our days as well. You ingest the days by living them, and then you process them through stretching, meditation. I don't know, having a nice bath, just relaxing, thinking, talking it out with your spouse, something like that. That's how you process the day so that tomorrow you can be fresh, right? So in order to reverse engineer, you start with the why, which is the emotions, right? And you look at, once you've answered this question of why are you scrolling, let's say it's sadness, then when you feel sad, the point is, now you know why, and then you think about when. Okay, it looks like I usually get sad at night. So what would be a better way to process this sadness? Is it to journal and get it out of me? And just like, you just say it. You could do journaling through dictation on your phone. You could write it out many different ways. Is it to text somebody, like an accountability partner or a friend, right? Is it to leave a voice message for somebody, right? But you think about the emotion and the time, so the when and the why. Why, then when. That's how you start to interrupt this thing. Because when you're feeling sad in your present state, you reach out for your phone and you scroll. So instead, you decide, when I'm sad, what do I want to do? And you start practicing doing that, right? That's your hypothesis. So the formula is, you say, when I feel blank, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to pray. I'm going to sit with my sadness and just feel it for a while and then reach out to somebody. But this is learning how to be you. Okay? This is life, the most foundational stuff that we just don't learn. Nobody teaches us how to regulate our emotions. Not really, unless you're in a really in-tuned family that does a lot of introspection and self-help work and stuff like that. For the most part, we don't know this stuff. We don't know how to be ourselves successfully. We're not successful at being ourselves. So we escape ourselves or we run away from our problems, right? So in order to be you successfully, you have to understand who you are and what you feel, and then working through these emotions and then figuring out who you want to be and practice being that, right? So a next practical thing. So the first thing is reverse engineering, committing to doing certain actions when you feel certain feelings, right? If it's anger or if it's boredom, you figure out what you'd like to do and you practice doing that, okay? The next thing is really looking at your phone and making it hard to escape. There's a few different ways. If you want to be a little bit more extreme, just delete those apps. If you look at your phone and there's a report card and it says that this app is taking an hour, for a lot of people it's Instagram or YouTube. These two are big players, or TikTok if you're young and hip, right? At least an hour a day. It's stealing it from you. And not only that, you're like willfully letting it steal from you, right? And so if you really want to be extreme, then don't let yourself waste that time. Get ahead of the curve. Just delete the app. You don't need it. As much as you say you do, you don't need it. You can access these things online. Like, let's say you're a creator and that's your reason, then just put it on your computer. You can download stuff or upload things from your computer, and then you just do it in very specific circumstances. I think a less extreme version of that is your phone allows you, all phones have timers for specific apps. So you could go on to your phone and you can say that I want to be maximum on Instagram for 15 minutes a day. 15 minutes. And like, that's my allotted time. That's you planning to help the you of tomorrow, to like help them out. I'm good. Hey, you, you like talking to yourself, right? Hey, you, tomorrow me, I got you. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to set you up. I'm going to hook you up. You're going to have a great day. You know why? Because I'm planning today to help you tomorrow. And then when you live that day, you're like, yo, thanks, me yesterday. You're so kind to me. You always treat me so well, the me of yesterday. I love you so much, right? Plan. Be nice to the you of tomorrow. Plan for them. You can also, the light version, so that the hot, spicy version is just delete the apps. The medium version is to put a time limit on the app. And the light version is to disorient yourself by putting all of your apps in totally different places. You have the capacity to make your scrolling life much more inconvenient, which is actually a good thing. So the most annoying thing you could do is put 2 or 3 apps per page so that you have to scroll like crazy to get to the page. And you can organize apps, based on certain interests. And you can put Instagram and TikTok on the danger page or the zoned out page or the escapism page, so that when you scroll to it, you're clearly looking for it. A lot of people, you probably have Instagram on your main page of apps on your phone, like the first thing that you see. And it's probably just right there, and your thumb knows exactly where it is unconsciously. So you can either make it super inconvenient for yourself by putting just a couple apps on each page and scroll, or at least just jumble them up so that they're not in the normal place, because then you can't unconsciously just go to Instagram or whatever. You have to actually actively seek it out. Your thumb is disoriented, so it requires your brain. And now your brain's like, wait, we're looking for Instagram. Why are we doing that? So it adds, it's not like a foolproof plan that will stop you from watching Instagram, but it gives you a moment of consciousness to be like, should I really be doing this? Because as you are right now, you don't even think. You're just on Instagram. You have a feeling, and it's not like a conscious feeling. It's just like you feel uncomfortable or bored or whatever. You don't think about it, and your phone ends up in your hand, and your thumb knows where to go, and then you're there without any thought. It's all unconscious. So in order to interrupt that, change it up, switch it up. Okay. But that's just like a small trick that you can do. That's not going to resolve anything. If you interrupt your unconscious behavior, it just gives you the opportunity to become conscious. But still, if you're conscious and you don't want to be, you'll find other ways. You'll still escape. You'll just change one form of escapism for another. But the whole point is interrupt your patterns so that you can stop and be like, okay, what's going on here, man? What are you doing? What are you feeling? What's the game plan here? What should we do with our time and energy right now? Because we're struggling a little bit, right? And phone, like Facebook, these tech companies have designed it so that you are unconscious for as long as they can get you to be unconscious, so that you are on autopilot and they are in control of you. That's just straight up their tactics. And so in order to gain your consciousness back, you have to interrupt these patterns. And it starts with the emotion. Like I said, the why. Okay, I'm feeling uncomfortable. Why? What's going on? What should I do now? And the best way to get myself back on track, feeling good again, so that I'm not just numbing myself with my phone. But let's say the next step is then to organize your life so that it's as hard as possible to escape. Okay? So this episode is shorter. It's just me, but there's plenty of times, normally our podcasts are about 45 minutes. It's less than 25 minutes right now. And I'm making it short so that you can stop and do this actual work and figure out, okay, it's when do you escape? Where do you escape? How do you escape? Why do you escape? Those are all the early questions to figure out your patterns, and then to interrupt your patterns, figuring out if you're feeling this emotion, what would you like to do in that moment, and start doing that. This is North Star Goal 101, Escapism 101. Super practical, okay? So please take the time to do this work, because the more conscious you are, the more that you get to vote for the direction of your own life. The more that you're unconscious, the more that you're like, why is my life like this? It's because you're not in control. Your unconscious mind, your subconscious, is completely just driving this ship in a direction that you don't even like. But we're meant to have control. We are meant to be the owners of Chanoguk, which means the owners of our mind, our heart, our body, and our soul. And you give up ownership every time you go unconscious and do things out of habit, especially bad habit. No bueno. No bueno. No bueno. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this is helpful. I hope it was super practical. We strive for practicality. And if this is helpful, tell somebody about it. Share this episode with somebody. Okay? God bless your faces, everybody, and your hearts, and all the rest of you. Peace.
Hey, did you know that our team wants to do more events? Well, if you want to bring the High Noon message to your community or group, then let us know and we'll try to work something out. There's a simple application that you can fill out right now at highnoon.org/invite. And one of our team members will get back to you to see what's possible. That's highnoon.org/invite. All right, see you in the next episode.